I have played a lot of Batman games. This includes playing not only the Lego Batman series and playing a point-and-click adventure Batman game that I cannot remember the title for the life of me. And I've obviously played the Arkham series, which, if you didn't know, contains my favorite game of all time, Arkham City. So, needless to say, I am experienced in these kinds of games, but when I started thinking about my final thoughts on this game, I couldn't stop comparing it to Arkham City. Then I realized that the Telltale series isn't even in the same arena. It tackles very different problems for the Cape Crusader, and I have mixed feelings on how it did. The story of this game is not only new to my knowledge, but it is absolutely heart-pounding. I went into the game thinking about how we were just going to be doing the same old thing, fighting gangsters, but Telltale took me on a wild ride that had betrayal, drugs, a clown, abusive parents, a corporate conspiracy, an election, and a cat burglar to give me the second best Batman story I've ever seen. The story is absolutely great, and that's the most important thing in a story-driven game like this. It's what keeps people coming back. However, the story does die off around episode 2, the end of episode 2 I should say, but then ramps back up to speed towards the end of episode 3. There is about a half episode in the middle where I questioned what all this was. That part was when we learned about the murder of Martha and Thomas Wayne and why they were killed. It's definitely the most boring part of the game. However, I've never seen this side of the murder story. The game really dives into who Joe Chill is and why his parents were killed. This part of the game is arguably very boring, and if you're into why Batman's parents were killed and what corporate motives are behind it, you'll really like this half episode stretch. But if you're like me, I doubt you'll enjoy it. On the flip side, there are some really intense parts of the series. The scene where Falcone gets shot and the scene where Cobblepot takes over your position at Wayne Enterprises, those are both huge, tense moments. And that is what this game strides on, and that's where the game really shines, in the moments where you just can't believe what's happening right in front of your eyes. The story is great, but I wanted to add this little quip here to say that the way they did the story feels very unnatural in a way. It feels like it's going 100 miles per hour at some parts, and in other parts it feels like it's not moving. I just can't figure out why it feels this way. Maybe it is the slower character development of certain characters, or the introduction of characters at random parts in the series, but it's paced in a weird way and it did not help my enjoyment of the game. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, because I'll use this as a launching board to get into my next point. The fact is that it's episodic, and the fact is that episodic games are still somewhat controversial. After however many Telltale games have been put out, I still talk to people who really do like and really dislike it. I really do like the episodic format. I'm on the really do, like the pro episodic format side. I like it a lot, and the fact that other developers are picking up on it too makes me even happier. People like IO Interactive are really making me happy. So the fact that it was episodic, and the fact that I know that when I paid $20 in early August that I would still be getting my money worth halfway through December makes me very happy, and that's a big plus in my book. So one of the big draws in a game like this, or in any Batman game, is its detective sequences. And in these scenes, you get there after the crime but before the police, and you have to piece together what happened to stay on top of whoever you're chasing at the time. The biggest and best execution of this is when you get into the Vale home in what I think is episode 4, and you get there after she brutally murders her parents, both her parents. And it's not only gruesome, but it's very well done as from a game design perspective. There are a lot of points to connect here, and when you first start trying to figure out what happened, it's obvious there are about 100 ways this could have played out. That specific scene leads into the introduction of a new character who was, in my opinion, a wasted opportunity as a character, but that's besides the point. In some of the most recent Batman games, the detective sequences were the most important part of both the game and the story, and the way Telltale did their detective mode is in no way inferior to the past ones. I don't want to say it's the best one, it's better, but in a short episodic style that it's in, I think the detective mode is very well for what they were trying to achieve in this form of a Batman game. Okay, I gotta put in a performance piece for this. As for every review, I need to talk about performance, because that's just what needs to happen. I had the luxury of running this game on both Team Red and Team Green, because I switched from an R9 390 to a GTX 1070 between episodes 3 and 4. Sadly, there is almost no performance gain, but the type of performance I'm going to complain about will surprise you. Now, Telltale games are not getting any awards for the best PC port, so their animations are off. Okay, I can deal with that. So their art style is a little wonky in this one. Okay, I can deal with that. What really made me mad was the sound in this game and how low quality it was. It routinely took me out of the game. Every time I wanted to go into the Batmobile, every time I wanted to use my grappling hook to obtain someone, it was not good. The sound totally took me off this game, and it was a bigger deal than I originally thought it would be. It was very disappointing to see this out of one of my favorite developers. The last thing I want to talk about today in this season is how Lady Arkham dies, and this is my main gripe with the game, but it's for a really bad reason. Lady Arkham died by having a piece of the ceiling fall on her in the final fight. The building starts coming down while you rescue Alfred. She gets crushed by a giant rock. Now, besides the reason of lazy writing, you're going to ask me why I didn't like this ending, so let me rant for a minute. The reason Arkham City was so great was because it dealt with the morals of Batman and Bruce Wayne. How Batman couldn't kill and how he had a public persona to keep during the daytime. I loved that. How Batman played by different rules than Bruce, and how Rocksteady tackled that part of the Batman curse. Arkham City was very good on how it designated Bruce Wayne and Batman. Batman did this, Batman did that. Bruce Wayne got caught and forced Batman to show up. The reason Arkham City was such an emotionally impacting game was because how it balanced these two personas. So that said, the series tries to capture the Batman versus Bruce Wayne struggle, and it has the ability to do so because you do play as Bruce, and you have the opportunity to play as Bruce longer through choices that you make. So here's the problem. Telltale does a horrible job of balancing Bruce and Batman, which is a shame because they could have done something really cool. The worst part about it to me is how obvious it is that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and that could be because it takes place over about a month as opposed to one night like the Arkham games. But you have to understand that in this game, it's very obvious that Bruce Wayne is secretly Batman, and no one mentions it. They don't capture the struggle of morals very well, and that's why the villain ended it like it did. But it was weird because there's no moment of Batman realizing he can't kill her or Batman contemplating killing her. He just looks over and she gets crushed. It was, in 2 words, a wasted opportunity. This game is very open to a second season. There are multiple loose ends to take care of, the most prominent one being the Joker, who was portrayed very well in this game, may I say. I always expected him to come back, but he never showed up. Or you can go into the Titan drug that was never really taken care of. You can even introduce a new character. Black Mask would be absolutely great in this universe. Don't get me wrong, the Children of Arkham were pretty good for the most part, but I think it'd be very, very cool to see Black Mask in this version of Gotham. But would I buy Season 2? I really can't say at this point. I probably would, just because it's Batman, but there are some glaring issues with this season that I think really need to be fixed in the second season if they want to retain an audience in the future. With that, my name is Lindsay Star. If you guys liked the video, go ahead and like it. If you guys dislike it, go ahead and dislike it, and then go down in the comments below and tell me why you rated it like you did, and I'll see you guys in the next video.